I approach all of the characters that I've voiced ever in the same way, and there's not much of an interesting process that I go through other than, I look up as much information as I can if there is information out there. Luckily Chainsaw Man is a manga, so I had lots of information that I could read online about Pochita. And so I did that, and I have the image to go off of. And from there, I just, as best I can, imagine I'm the character, and the voice that comes out is the voice that comes out. And that's how I approach any character that I voice.
Also, well, in the case of this one, you looked at it, you went, "Oh, it's so cute!" You're like, "I have to be so cute."
Exactly. Yeah. So that's where the
that's
image.
the real motivation.
Yeah, that's where the image definitely helps. Is that I see like, oh my God, this creature is so adorable.
Which,
so
to be fair, is everyone's
adorable.
response to Pochita, right?
Yeah.
If it doesn't make you want to punch it, it's not cute enough.
Yeah, similarly, I mean, I was a massive fan of this manga, so I had read it many times over, and for a long time had my version of Denji's voice in my head already. And when the auditions came through, the particular sides were a scene that I really resonated with already, and I just felt like, regardless of my chances, I knew who he was to me, and I just wanted to present that. And I think he's an incredibly deep and complicated character who has a lot of surface level obviousness, but I think there's so much more there that people can take from, so I wanted to try and show that.
I am the finder of the voices.
He is a collector.
So, yeah, I have the manga to go off of. Luckily, by the time that I became involved with it, the initial trailer had already gone up as well, so I at least had 4 core members' voices, like even just like little bits of them to work with, plus the manga, plus the personalities within the manga, plus whatever I could find online, and kind of worked from there with what I thought would sound best, and also from my, couple decades of experience of casting shows. So yeah, luckily this wasn't my first show straight out of the gate, and I'm glad that I had a lot of experience going into it, because I think each time you get to work on something, no matter what it is, it's a little bit more experience, a little bit more like you find out what works or what doesn't, and go from there.
I also had a very similar thing with them, where like I will also research before jumping into a character, and I looked at the manga, and my first impressions were this character seemed like a gremlin, and I did my own versions of it, and then I also realized, oh, there's a trailer out, let me go look at that too. I'm like, okay, I think I'm on the right track here, and that's just where it blossomed from there.
And Sarah makes us laugh in every session.
Every session.
My goal is to make everybody pee themselves.
And I will say from leading everyone's session that she's quite successful.
I've left a few sessions and I'm like, you're gonna have to mop, I'm sorry.
I did it again.
I have learned from experience in recording the episodes so far that if she has nailed the living crap out of something, or there's a particular funny moment, rather than just let it be in someone's pre-roll and like destroy their minds with that, let's watch what Sarah did real quick because it's really funny. Okay, now we'll go back and record.
After getting cast, I binged the manga, so I know exactly what I'm getting into. And then, yeah, she seems very in control, so I try to bring that in for her too. But yeah, nothing too special. I think the image, like Lindsay said, really helps with how I imagine how the character sounds.
It's more of a responsibility where, like, especially for me, loving these characters in this story for so long and knowing this scale, not realizing how big this was going to get, but the scale of which how many people were going to be appreciating this and coming from this already loving these characters, that I just wanted to make as many people happy as possible. I wanted to, even just as a fan, I just wanted to be able to share this with people. And I know how much they are beloved. I mean, you go on that floor and like everybody is dressed up and it's just extraordinary. So yeah, the goal really is the responsibility of it felt like a big, heavy thing in a cool way, in a really lucky way.
I will just say, since I'm not acting in the show, it's the same for me. Like, it's a responsibility,
Yes.
but I also, as everyone else has talked about so far with how they go about their auditions and everything like that, I have to take the information and then trust in my experience and the way that I process things, that I think, this is what I would do. This is how I would work with this material. This is how I would work with this show in order to get the fun and zaniness and heart and everything that's in the manga. This is how I think all the pieces should fit to make that happen and make it work, based off of all the materials that are presented to me and the wonderful cast I have to work with and the wonderful animation that were provided and, like the art, everything that's involved with it. We just do our best with it, with what we have, and make sure that it goes this way and not this way.
And I will gush for a moment and say that we are all incredibly lucky and grateful
my
to have
God.
Mike directing this,
yes.
because he
100%.
gets it, he cares so much, there's so much heart and nuance, and it's not just go for the easy laugh or go for it's about really getting the moments right. And like, there'll be times we'll take a few takes on like the tiniest of reactions, because it's like, still got to get that one layer to it, we're missing this, we got to get that, we make sure we're getting it all in there. And as someone who loves this so much, and he knows that I feel so safe with him, and I feel so grateful that we have someone who cares as much as we do about making this special. I think what's so cool about Denji is I think he is one of the most relatable characters, period. And that is, it's not a matter of gender or desire or anything like that, in the outright of what he says. I think it is simply that he is so pure and honest and true to himself, and I think that he speaks on a level of human connection that all of us want. It's not about touching boobs, it's about connecting, it's about being with people and feeling less of an outsider, feeling like you belong and are valued. And I think people see that in him, and they see that if he can be resilient, then why not them?
For power, there's a whole bundle of joy in that, but mostly, how uncontrolled and chaotic she is, and her degenerate nature. I think it speaks to a lot of people. She's completely nasty, and I think a lot of people just find her just funny in general.
Well, the thing you touched on before too, like the gremlin energy.
Yeah.
We have a lot of friends who that is they talk about gremlin energy and like that, like owning that power, and I think she is like the flagship, of that. So, yeah.
You're the prime minister.
Yeah, Prime Minister of Gremlin Town.
It's so much more fun playing characters that are like this, because they're like we are in real life. We're all kind of a mess. Being a human being is a messy experience. We have every kind of emotion raging in us. We have relationships left and right and in every direction. It is a constant flux of feelings and changing and becoming a new version of yourself, and growth and discovery and loss and anger and all the things. And there's no such thing as a clean existence, So
Absolutely.
Getting to play and exist in a world with characters like this, it feels so much more genuine.
Yeah,
So
I think, it's a chance to be more honest and more open. It's the difference between hanging out with someone 24/7 and seeing what they're like, or I only know this person from their 5-second Instagram clips where they are only living the best life and they never have any problems and they always hit the best
That's
restaurants.
a great way of putting
That's
it.
Yeah, like where it's just shine, shine, shine constantly. That is not interesting to me.
Yep.
I would rather know everybody's everything if it makes them more worth knowing. I have been acting since elementary school. I studied it in college. I also studied music and just pursued all of my artistic interests. And luckily I had a set of parents who were like, that's awesome, instead of like, no, please go do by the numbers things that make you a lot of money or whatever, or pick a safe route. They were very encouraging, and I was very fortunate to have that. And by pursuing such things, you find your own avenues. You find other people that do that as well. You take it upon yourself, like, I want to do this, where do I go? And you find these things out, and you get there like, hey, I want to do a thing. It's just anything that you can do, and it changes about every 7-8 years as far as the difficulty level, and
That's so true.
okay,
Yeah.
no, now it's this agency over here, or now you have to go and do this thing, and there's all these different things you do, but you just have to keep researching. But yeah, luckily the internet exists, and it didn't when I was a small child,
Yeah.
And the only thing I will throw out as far as like a really quick, non-esoteric answer is D. Bradley Baker's website has
Yeah.
tons of information on it, which is just iwannabeavoiceactor.com. It's like, some people think it's like a cop-out answer, but it's like,
It's a
no, it's like
wellspring of
the
knowledge.
it's
Yeah,
the answer you
literally.
can take with you. You can look it up and you can research it and look through it, and he updates it all the time, and it's all correct. It's from multiple perspectives, plus his own as the spearhead guiding light for it.
It's like the encyclopedia for
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you're new or if you're a professional. There are times you can go, oh right, oh yeah. Like
Yeah.
there's so much information.
If I had discovered that when I was like 16 or 17, I'm like, what? How does this exist?
yeah,
Why
like,
is it free?
Yeah, exactly.
This is the best thing in the
Exactly,
world.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I will recommend it to a lot of people, and I get a look because of just how it's phrased, and I'm like, trust me. But Mike is right. It's very much like we all have a different story. I was a musician. I mean, I was obsessed with film as a kid. I wanted to be a director, an actor, but on camera, theater, all this stuff. I never thought voiceover was even a route for me. And I was a musician in bands for almost 20 years, and I thought that was my life. And moved to LA, and things shifted around. I was able to rekindle my love with acting and just took classes again, and literally shot a short film, some on-camera thing. The director was a voice actor, and he's like, do you do voiceover? Because you're pretty good at this job. And I said, I don't have a reel yet. I know there are certain avenues to do it professionally. He's like, well, I produce a reel, so did that. And then, like Mike said, I literally just started emailing different places, knocking on doors, being like, hi, here's my stuff. I'm new. Maybe, like, you could put me on a roster, or maybe an audition. No biggie. Like, kind of expecting. I would never hear from them or anything. And
Can I has voice acting?
yeah. And it's really just trying to, like, respecting also that it's not just you showing up. It's all of these other people with different jobs and things that need to be respected of their time and energy and all that. And, just kind of going in and not expecting anything, but wanting to give everything and just hoping for the best.
If you don't know one another and you immediately like, we're going to be best friends immediately, I'm like, I don't know you. Like,
Yeah,
there's a
yeah.
false sense to it.
Yeah.
There's like you just stare at
Yeah.
each other
Yeah.
for a good minute, like
I know all of these folks because I've worked with them for a few years in one capacity or another. Some of them longer than others, but like all of them for a year, 2 years, 5 years, somewhere 10 years, whatever, it's mixed in there. And so my camaraderie with them is, I've worked with them in that capacity, or maybe we've both been an actor on something else together, or been to an event like this, and hey, Ryan's told me really cool things about you. I'd really love to meet you, and all these sorts of things, and you just meet people, and I have found, because it's not the case across the board in every entertainment and media industry, but voiceover folks in general are really cool, nice people. You really
Yeah,
have
we're
to search
great.
really, 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 really hard to find one that's not. So
Yeah.
they're just easy to get along with and fun people, and why wouldn't you want to know them? So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as like getting the job, I don't necessarily think that's the thing. I think it is a good thing to show up and be kind, be respectful, be all of these things, and along with like, hey, I have talent, and I'm also like, I'm a good human being.
Yeah, like you want to be somebody who's pleasant to work
Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
You want to be someone that when you walk out of the room, it's not immediately like, can you believe it?
Yeah.
You don't want to be that guy ever.
Yeah.
you need to be pleasant to work with because
so
like you will get
important.
kicked out from many
Yes.
plays just if the director doesn't like you. So
Yeah.
like
Well, voiceover is just like any other job. Like, you got to be professional, but you also, like, everybody wants to work with somebody who's nice to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah.
a good person.
Yeah.